Hello everyone, this is Rachel live from 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 Studios and you're watching The Last Trade Show. Let us zoom our lens on the Australian share market performance today. Australian shares are heading for a positive close for the second straight session today, led by gains in industrials, materials and utilities. The market sentiment was also boosted by strong cues from Wall Street, while lower interest rates in China also sent a bearish signal to the domestic bourses. The S&P ASX 200 was trading 16.6 points or 0.23% during the final hour of the day's trade. Earlier today, the index opened higher and gained as much as 0.6% to hit an intraday high. However, the market trimmed its early lead amid looming fear of a longer lockdown in New South Wales amid more coronavirus cases. The bank and information technology stocks witnessed sharp selling in the final hour of the day's trade. Investors kept a close eye on the COVID-19 situation across the country. The number of new daily COVID-19 cases in New South Wales is at 89 over the last 24 hours. That's compared to 112 registered on Monday. The country's highly populated state reported a second death in 2 days, while the pandemic outbreak has now spread to other regions, with a case detected in Goulburn. That's around 200 kilometres from Sydney. Meanwhile, Queensland has recorded 3 new cases of COVID-19 and Victoria registered 1 new case in addition to 2 others announced late yesterday. In partial relief, the government has announced it will relax South Australia's border restrictions with southeastern Queensland, including Brisbane, from Friday night. The market breadth, indicating the overall strength of the market, saw 8 of the 11 sectoral indices trading in the green. The industrial sector was the top performer with a 1% gain. Amongst others, materials, healthcare, consumer staples and utilities also witnessed a surge in buying. Meanwhile, 𝐊𝐴 was the worst performer on the ASX with 0.4% loss. Among others, energy, tech and financials were the top laggards. On this note, let's see how the sectoral indices performed today. The information technology slipped into the red in the final hour of today's trade, pairing opening gains. In the tech space, buy now, pay later giant Afterpay was trading lower, while Appen, network operator Megaport and fintech firm 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞, their shares all edged higher. In the energy space, index heavyweight Origin Energy, Oil Search and Ampol were trading in green territory, while Woodside Petroleum and Beach Energy slipped into the red. Crude oil prices slipped on Monday over concerns of a spreading variant of coronavirus squeezing the global economic recovery. In the mining sector, index heavyweights BHP Group, Rio Tinto and Fortescue Metals were trading higher, owing to a rise in iron ore futures on the Dalian Commodity Exchange. The rally in resource stocks were also supported by the People's Bank of China's decision to cut the reserve requirement ratio for all banks by 50 basis points, the amount of cash most banks must hold in reserve to boost lending. Next, in the banking sector, 3 of Australia's big 4 lenders, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Australia New Zealand Banking Group and Westpac, were trading lower, pairing early gains. The NAB shares traded higher with marginal gains. Now, before we look at more shares in the news today, it's time for a short break.
Crypto Talk by 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞. The crypto market has been red hot given the Bitcoin rally since the past year. And now the most famous cryptocurrency has got competitors, Dogecoin and Ethereum. If the crypto market excites you, tune in with me, Sage, to know the latest developments about the existing digital currencies and the new ones that are joining the race. I'll help you understand the opportunities and the risks the crypto market has in store for you. For all the digital currency related developments, continue watching Crypto Talk by 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞.
Hi and welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, The Last Trade. Let's take a look at Australian shares that created a buzz today. Tech firm Nearmap shares surged as much as 17.38% to touch an intraday high of $2.33 after aerial imaging technology and location data company announced its unaudited preliminary results for the year ending 30th of June. The results exceeded its most recently upgraded guidance on the back of record growth in the North American portfolio. Shares of YouFood spiked as much as 80% to 92 cents after the ready-made meal company entered into a scheme implementation deed with HelloFresh to be acquired by way of a scheme of arrangement. HelloFresh has proposed to acquire a 100% stake in YouFoods for 93 cents per share by cash by way of a scheme of arrangement. The share price of 𝐊𝐴 Asia jumped 53.3% to hit an intraday high of 46 Australian cents after the online automobile trading company received a non-binding acquisition proposal from its rival 𝐊𝐴𝐚. Based in Singapore, 𝐊𝐴𝐚 operates an integrated automotive e-commerce platform across Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand and Singapore. 𝐊𝐴𝐚 would acquire all the equity shares of 𝐊𝐴 that 𝐊𝐴𝐚 and its associates do not already own for 55 cents per share. Let us look at the next company now. Fintech firm Plenti. Their shares rose nearly 19% to $1.60 after the company earned strong earnings in the June quarter, supported by record quarterly and monthly loan originations. The company recorded loan originations of $216.4 million in the first quarter of financial year 2021, up 260% from the prior corresponding period and 26% above the prior quarter. Shares of WAM Leaders surged as much as 0.6% to $1.57 on a strong performance in financial year 2021. The investment companies reported a record operating profit before tax of $318.1 million, an operating profit after tax of $228.9 million for the full financial year 2021. Meanwhile, shares of lithium boron supplier Iona rose as much as 3.8% to 41.5 cents after the company awarded an engineering and equipment supply contract to a Danish firm. The deal is for the development of its wholly owned Rhyolite Ridge lithium boron project in Nevada in the US. Shares of waste recycling company Pearl Global rose as much as 7% to 4.5 cents on a supply deal with Alex Fraser. The company says it signed a supply agreement with a producer of sustainable materials for civil construction. Now, before we look at some more shares, it's time for a short break.
New Zealand is unique, and 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV is here to bring you all the latest news and trending market updates. Streaming across multiple platforms, so no matter where you are, whether it be at the beach or on the farm, you can count on the team here at 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV to be your home for accessing the latest valuable insights into global issues that are affecting New Zealanders. Subscribe to our channels across YouTube, Facebook, also visit 𝐊𝐴𝐚.co.nz.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching 𝐊𝐴𝐚 TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. Shares of ASX 300 listed almond producer Select Harvest surged as much as 18% to $7.60 on a strong 2021 harvest estimate. The company estimates crop volume for the year, including from acquisition of Piangil Orchard, to be up 21.5% from 2020. Select Harvest that says the almond industry has gone through a significant growth in global demand across markets, especially in India, Europe and China. PolyNovo shares gained up to 4% at $2.50 on Tuesday. The medical device maker says revenue is growing faster in the United States, where more than 50% of hospitals are re-engaging for business. Moving on to the last ASX listed company in our list today, and shares of explosives maker Incitec Pivot gained as much as 8.8% to reach $2.60. The company has changed its manufacturing model to a regional management structure from a global one. It also stated that regional model will improve its manufacturing operations, particularly while international travel restrictions remain in place. Now to the final leg of our show, let us focus on the Asian equity market performance. Asian markets are trading higher on Tuesday, tracking positive cues from Wall Street, while investors awaited the release of China's trade data for June. Hong Kong's Hang Seng was the best performer in the region, rising 1.8%. Thailand's SET composite also climbed over 1%, while Taiwan's weighted stock index gained 0.4%. In a similar trend, Japan's Nikkei surged 0.5%, while Singapore's Straits Times surged 0.7%. Meanwhile, Seoul's Kospi gained 0.7%, while China's Shanghai Composite rose 0.25%, pairing opening losses. India's BSE Sensex also gained 0.5% in opening trade, tracking firm cues from Asian peers. That's all from me for now. Stay tuned to 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV for more live market updates. We'll be back with more news on the markets, economy, diverse themes and sectors. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.